how to get over people's expectations and where you should be by a certain age. This was a video suggestion, and I thought it was a really great topic, so I wanted to touch on this for a little bit. The idea that we all contemplate our life and where we're going, where we've been, the meaning of things, like the meanings of our origins, the family that we were born to, the schools we were placed in, making sense of all that and making sense of what you believe your purpose is going forward in comparison to what you think other people are doing or what other people have. So it's a lot to process, especially as a young kid that's just growing up. You know, you're born as a baby in a certain circumstance, and you're just kind of going with what everyone's telling you. But you also have your own intuition, and you have your own thoughts. You're your own being as well. So you're kind of fighting all these programming techniques and all these ideals by the community around you and the government, the family, just everything coming together. So how to make sense of your place and like where you should be by a certain age, and how to not get down about certain things, is really just understanding, for one, the basic biology of things, and understanding human life for what it really is to the core. So when we take something like, for example, I went to a private Catholic grade school and then a private Catholic high school. Grew up with a single mom, and my uncle helped pay through the school. That I also got financial aid through the schools. So with my uncle helping pay and getting the financial aid as well, I was able to attend those schools. But sometimes, you know, I have a classmate in high school. He could have two parents that are both together and they're rich, and he goes to college after going to a private high school, and he's, you know, oh yeah, we'll just send you abroad. Yeah, you can just go study in like 5 different countries on our money when you're like 19, 20 years old, you know. And it's like I just don't have that circumstance. Good for him being able to travel. Like, it's I can sit here and look at someone else's opportunity, but like I physically cannot do anything about somebody else starting out with more money. Right, I just can't do anything about what parents I had or what family I had. So, you know, a lot of people, maybe they're 12 or something, and they see their classmate got some like awesome thing for Christmas, and they didn't get that, or like their classmates going on this awesome like summer vacation, but their family is poor and they can't go on that vacation. So they see like what their friends are doing, or their friends got like the newest iPhone and they're stuck with like a flip phone, or their parents can't even afford a phone, or their friends you know, are going on all these trips and what they think is living the life of luxury, and maybe they're taking the bus, maybe they're you know, on food stamps, whatever the case is. And so as a little kid, yeah, you're gonna have that like, well, where should I be by a certain age? But a lot of the stuff that's happened to you and that's gonna happen to you is not even anything on your own doing. Like, I can't control what someone else started with, or like genetically, like I'm 5'11", I can't control that the other guy got to be 6'5", right? So I'm not gonna go through my life just like, how come he gets to be 6'5", or like how come he has that money, or like how come he's doing that one thing. And so, you know, you see somebody, me at 26 now, you might see like a classmate from high school or college that maybe they have a 6-figure job, and you're looking at what you're doing. So for me, like, I'm selling tie-dye for this nonprofit at the beaches in the zoo of San Diego and downtown. And so I could look at someone like that and be like, well, they're making 6 figures, and look at me, I'm just like selling clothes. Like, and you know, people ask too, is like, well, what are you gonna do after this? What's your backup plan? Like, you ever thought about going back to college? It's like, no, like, I'm on my track. I know what I want to do, and I know what I can do. And even if I tell you what my plans are, you've already evaluated me in some sort of context. So it's just like a waste of a conversation, you know, like the family member that sees you from a baby to now. So they remember when you were like 2 years old getting your diaper changed. So like they just can't mentally respect or understand what you're doing. So like, I just don't waste the conversation. I'm not going to explain what my future is when you've already evaluated the circumstance. Like, there's nothing I can say is going to erase the fact that a family member might have remembered me at 2 when I was getting my diaper changed. But it's like the family reunion, you go and the grandma's like, oh, I remember when you were 5. And you're just like, I'm not 5. You know, everyone tries to be respectful as much as they can. Sometimes the people just get to that point. It's like, I'm not 5. I'm not a member of your family to other people. I'm not just your friend to everybody else. I'm not just like your high school classmate to everybody else. I'm not just your college classmate to everybody else. I'm not just your coworker at this job in this one point in time to everybody else, right? So like a janitor at a certain job, people might, oh, that's just like the low guy in the totem pole. He just cleans here. And so you just think that's your coworker. And so this other person comes in with this attitude of, oh, I just think my job is where I make my money and go. Like, I don't really care to interact with my coworkers. And everyone has their own view on that. But for me, with jobs that I've gone to, if I'm going to be with someone for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, we're going to be friends on some level. I'm not spending that much time with someone where there's not some kind of team effort of like getting to know the individual. That's a lot of time to spend with someone. I don't ever treat a job, every job I've had, I don't go in spending 8 hours a day with someone and, oh, that's just the janitor here, that's just the boss. No, it doesn't matter. The janitor and the boss are the same. 2 eyes, nose, ears, eat, go to the bathroom. Doesn't matter what someone's doing, what someone's making, what someone has. And so when people do have that ignorant mindset late into life, like, oh, that's just the janitor there. The janitor, he could be a really talented guitar player, and maybe he's working on a band outside of work, and because you ignorantly never cared to know the guy on any kind of level, maybe his band takes off in a few years, now he's on tour, and so the former coworker just goes, whoa, like, that was the janitor here, like, what, like, how come, like, I didn't know, like, they're doing that, I'm still stuck here, like, I thought that was the guy that cleaned things. It's just like, dude, it's more of this, like, this ignorant mentality on, like, who you think people are, or, like, where you think people should be. So first off, with getting over where you think you should be by a certain age or what you should have, do your part in understanding other people better. Like, try to understand other people's paths better, and you'll create that energy where people start to understand your path better. You know, because I can see someone now that maybe in the year 2020, with the lockdown, they got laid off from their job, and so maybe they were making more than me or more than someone else, and now that they're laid off, they're unemployed and they're broke, and so now I make more, the other guy makes more. And we can't have this teeter-totter system where, oh, well, he was the winner then and I was the loser, but now I'm the winner and he's the loser. And like, he got his revenge on this person and I got my revenge on that because, like, oh, you didn't believe in me, look what I'm doing now. Like, the constant just not seeing yourself, like, not having that sense of self, not having that realization of self. And so, you know, when you're put into these communities, families, religion, and, you know, at 26 myself, they're just like, oh, you thinking about getting married and having kids? It's just like you should be doing that. So if I don't have a committed girlfriend, or I'm not thinking about kids, I'm trying to work, make money, oh, and you're selling tie-dye, and, oh, colorful clothes, you gay? It's just like, no. Have you looked at relationships? Do you think people are just, like, faithful? Do you think that, like, marriage just works? Do you, like, you can't, like, I'm just making money, I'm at the beach, like, I got no boss here, no overhead, like, you know what I mean? It's just like you have some other thing about where I should be. And, like, yeah, like, I have friends and other people that I've known that, you know, they've gone on to, whether I said, like, before in the video, like, make 6 figures, or they're getting married, or they're having their kids, and that's their path. And, you know, like I said, too, with something like genetics, like me being 5'11", and another guy being, like, 6'5", if a guy's, like, 6'5", and he wants to decide to be a bodybuilder, and he spends, like, 10 years being like a bodybuilder, and he's just really jacked, he's ripped, and he's, like, confident and proud of what he's worked towards, you can't just be a hater that, like, girls like the dude's body. Like, you can't be a hater. You did not go to the gym and put in the work that he did. You can't be a hater on, like, his position, you know, whatever. You have your personal history, based on what maybe someone hurt you in the past, or misunderstandings on things, or you're pissed off about some prior event. So for you to see somebody in a position, you don't think they deserve it because of what you think you know about them, and you don't understand why this group of strangers supports what you think is an undeserving person or a bad person. But look at yourself too. You're watching, like, movies, you're buying from businesses, you're supporting strangers all the time. It's just you know, you're only seeing a snapshot of people in an individual sense. So first off, when it comes to getting over where you should be by a certain age or what you should have, notice just, like, the lack of intelligence with most people. You know, like, are you getting married? And just, like, you thinking about having kids? It's like, well, another thing too, like, what if I just look at the reality of the world, and it's like, okay, we're not in the caveman days, we don't need to just necessarily populate the world. What if I just choose in my path, knowing other people's situations and what other people have gone through with marriages and kids. What if I just want this life to be chill? And I just want to, like, I can barely take care of myself. What if I just want to live chill and just, like, have, like, a casual relationship that's child free with, like, me and a girl that doesn't want to, get married or have kids? Or maybe I want to have multiple girls or whatever. Or just, like, after, before this job, I was, when I was selling tie-dye, I was working at a hotel before this. And before the hotel job, I was working at FedEx. Before FedEx, I was working at Abercrombie and Fitch. I also signed with a modeling agency in San Diego at one point a couple of years ago, and I haven't been working too much with that. Just for me, modeling is just kind of like, okay, I'm mixed race, I'm green eyes. Like, it was nice to get the contract. It was, like, exciting, but now that I've made a little bit of money in it, it's kind of just like what you are. It's kind of just like, yeah, like I was born with these genetics. So yeah, people are like, oh, could you go to LA or New York? You could make so much money at a big agency. But it's like, yeah, then you're under a contract. They're in charge of, like, your social media, like what you post. Like, you're still, like, for me, it's not for me. Like, I could potentially make a lot of money in that industry, but like I'm saying before, it's like where someone should be by a certain age. Is that, like, fulfillment? Will that bring me more happiness? Like, I could go to LA or New York because I'm mixed race, green eyes, or whatever in the features. I could get with this modeling agency. Maybe, what if I ended up making hundreds of thousands or millions? So someone else that I know, like a family member or friend or someone I went to school with, they look at it like, whoa, like, what the hell? Like, why is he doing that? And what, like, look at me, like, I'm just this and he's this, like, model. But it's just like, dude, like, my parents, like, my dad's black, my mom's white. I just happened to be born in that circumstance. Like, there's no, like, where someone should be. If you just really take a step back, look at the origins of things, look at what human life actually is, and how a lot of the stuff that's happening to you is not even your fault or your choosing, you'll be able to see why you're just in the place that you need to be.